First, there were cuties, and now it looks like we have a cooking show coming from your favorite network. More to come. And it looks like we're buffering around here, which is, pretty much norm around here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And of course, first we'll start out with our thanks to the patrons and the subscribers, as well as our friends over on Twitch. And oops, you said there's no sound. Okay, you hear me now. Good, good. I think we were dealing with a delay, so it's good that the sound is back. Okay, perfect. Hello, everybody. Hello, Angela Reed. Thank you so much for coming in. And I do have a real under for you. And but before we get into it, I want to, of course, thank our patrons, the subscribers, as well as our followers over on not just Patreon, but Periscope. And if you were on Twitch. So we will be right back. Thanks so much for tuning in. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for the delay there, but as I did say, I do have a bit of a story for you, and it's going to come from, we're going to cross reference just for a second here. We have, I will tell you the original spark, if you will, came from the New York Post, but I found that Yahoo News seemed to have it just as vivid. So we'll start there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And also, I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging in there. And if you would please hit the like and or share, subscribe button on this stream for the dissemination of this stream and to help us out quite a bit. Thank you so much for doing that. And I want to give thanks to the audio, the podcasters platforms for tuning in as well. So we'll get started right away on this Real Under. right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. It looks like I am on an incredible lag here. It's like more incredible than ever. So I apologize for the delays on that, but I do have a preview for you, and I guess I'll give you a little bit of landscape. As I opened up just a little bit on, hang on just a second here. I'm trying to move this along a little bit. And hello to Angela Reed and Awesome Alice. So it looks like I'm pretty laggy here. It says, Awesome Alice says, I wear my sunglasses at night. Hang on just one second here. Good morning to Old Head Deuce. Thank you so much for coming in. And hang on just a second here. Yeah, it looks like my screen is a bit stuck there. Or maybe not. So hang on just one second here. Welcome to Bizarro Land. Okay. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will tell you right away, we do have a story that's coming out of, we're cross-referencing a story from New York, the New York Post, as well as Yahoo News. So apparently Michelle Obama's, she has a new gay Netflix puppeteer sidekick, and I'm going to show you that video. So hopefully that video won't get too laggy on this. Hopefully won't get too laggy on this stream with that. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And if you guys please hit the like button, I really appreciate that as well. So let's go ahead and go with I'll give you the audio first, and then I guess I can give you the backstory, because we are cross-referencing here. So I don't think you're actually going to miss anything, but I tell you what, let's do it the other way since we're having some laggy times here. Maybe we'll give my ISP enough time to catch up here. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll start with an unlikely source, but why not? Okay. Apparently Yahoo News has it under Pink News, however you want to spin that Michelle Obama's new gay Netflix puppeteer sidekick wants to empower LGBTQ plus kids. Okay, according to this is penned by Maggie Bosca. And we'll just go on here. So as you can see her here in what looks like a bit of a skyline or something, and flowers and apron, all that stuff. All the vivid and bright, vibrant things that you see in, children's pieces or children's productions. And we'll start here. So according to this, Michelle Obama's new Netflix gay puppeteer sidekick wants to inspire LGBT plus kids through the upcoming children's food show. In the new Netflix series, Waffles and Mochi, the former First Lady is joined by a busybody sidekick, Busy the Bee, to spread information about healthy eating to children across the world. Busy is the manager of Mrs. O's grocery store and appears near Obama frequently in the show. Jonathan Kidder, the puppeteer behind Busy the Bee, said he wants to use his character to inspire more LGBT plus kids. Kidder is one of children's puppeteering only openly gay creators. Okay, I keep going here. He told the Daily Beast that he initially joined Waffles and Mochi as an assistant puppeteer to help the show's small crew on international shoots. But he said the show's creators asked him to officially join the case as Busy. They felt that the Bee could benefit the Kidders, quote, dry gay sass, end quote, paired against Michelle Obama's character. He explained that Busy is not an openly gay bee, but he joked that, quote, all puppets are a little bit gay, end quote. But he said that he hoped to bring more diversity to Waffles and Mochi by channeling his own personality and sexuality through Busy. Quote, they never said overtly, quote, we need you to be as gay as possible, please, end quote, Kidder said. Quote, but I got the sense they liked that I brought this diversity to the mix, end quote. He said his job was to let Michelle Obama's sidekick, quote, be colorful and let my rainbow out through him, end quote. Kidder shared that he struggled to accept his sexuality and something was comforting in being an out puppeteer performing as a character, quote, whose identity is questionable, end quote. He said, quote, if I was a kid, end quote, he would have, quote, really valued having a character that felt like I felt inside, end quote, on a show like Waffles and Mochi. Kidder said he would have appreciated seeing a character on a children's show that was, quote, a little bit more flamboyant, but male, end quote, or a bit, quote, more sassy, but also a dude, end quote. He added, quote, then learning that the person who played that character was an out, proud gay man that would have been been amazing to encounter as a kid, end quote. I continue. He told the Daily Beast that children's entertainment industry does get, quote, concerned about the conservative people, end quote, who usually disapprove of the idea of the LGBT plus community being present in a kid's show. But Kidder said he was more concerned about the, quote, innocent children who are not having their reality affirmed, end quote, by seeing someone like them on the TV shows they watch. He argued that kids who, quote, grow up like me, end quote, become, quote, fiercely codependent, a total people pleaser, end quote, and create a, quote, false self, end quote. Quote, that is a very bad thing, end quote, Kidder said. Quote, let's stop worrying about the conservative view. Let's start dealing with the young, innocent human beings who need to just be accepted for who they are, end quote. The first season of Michelle Obama's new series, Waffles and Mochi, is currently available to stream on Netflix. The show features two puppet pals, Waffles and Mochi, who travel the world to discover all they can about food, culture, and how to cook with fresh ingredients. Alongside Obama, Waffles and Mochi also features celebrity cameos from Switched at Birth star Katie Leclerc, not familiar with her. Queer Eyes, Tan France, Common, Lionel Richie, Jack Black, and Stranger Things star Gaten Matarazzo. I don't know, did these names ring a bell with you guys? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And look who's here. It's nice to see you, Derek C. Williams. I'm going to put this in the link because, for those who just keep making the conspiracy theorists look good, maybe they might open their eyes. They might not look away so quickly if you've got something for them to read. But we're going to get into the trailer just for a second. Hello to everybody in the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to drop this right now, and I'm going to play. Also going to play you a little bit of the trailer. Hope you can handle it. I'm going to read a few comments here before I get into the trailer. You guys hanging on here? Thank you so much for tuning in on The Real Under. I really appreciate it. So it looks like Angela Reed says, I am so glad I canceled Pedoflix. All right. And Awesome Alice says, yep, welcome to the Freak Show. Derek C. Williams, how are you? Thanks so much for tuning in. Derek says the lunacy is boundless. Fauci's children's book is here. Wow. So we got a children's book and a cooking show. Oh, wow. Okay. Thanks so much, Derek C. Williams. So you guys want to grab that, thank you so much, Derek C. Williams. You guys certainly check each other out around here. Even though we're not a growth stream, I like to support everyone as much as possible here. And Derek C. Williams is a great content creator and a great supporter of the channel. So yes, and so Fauci has a children's book. See, I learned something else today. Okay, so Derek C. Williams says, in listen mode, late to the party, but greetings to BSWA. I'm getting lazy on that. Listening to you live on YouTube from the, quote, front line, end quote, a suburban medical facility. Well, thanks so much for taking your break or lending Black Spring with Autumn your ear on this Wednesday. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And also, hello to Old Head Deuce. Thank you so much for coming in. If you guys please remember to hit that button for just for the health of the stream. Even if you hit the unlike button, at least you get some some traction, I guess, with the AI and all the other powers that be out there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So I'm going to play this. I'm dealing with some lag, a little bit extra lag, I think, but we're going to push right through. So Old Head Deuce has a comment. It says, that's so creepy. I'm at a loss of words. And Old Head Deuce says, whoa, that's creepy. A Fauci's children's book. So I'm going to make sure that I can swipe that. Okay, hang on just 1 second here. Thank you for that, Derek C. Williams. Let me fix that right up here. Let me fix it right up. So I typically don't go with, so this was from the UK's Yahoo. I'm wondering if it's showing up on America, on the US side. You see what I mean? The UK, I think Europe gets quite a bit because they're on I think they're at least 9 hours ahead on one side, and I think maybe 5 hours ahead or 6 hours on another side, depending on where you are. So you said that one's not coming up. Amazing. Okay, so hang on just a second here. I'm going to try to pull it up in another browser and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to pull it right from here. Yeah, this is UK. This is actually UK news. So let's see if I can get it from here. I'm going to drop it one more time. Okay, so I think this is going to be shorter. They might even be banning it. Okay, try that. Let me know how that goes. Because that was a uk.news.yahoo.com / all the business that I said. Okay, so are you guys ready? We can either go with the official trailer or we can go with the, let's go with the official trailer. See if YouTube is letting it go through. Let's try that first and see what happens. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to play it right now.
If you want to be great chefs, you have to learn about all kinds of different foods.
From the people who brought you Chef's Table, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and Ugly Delicious, come two new heroes of food.
Hi, I'm Waffles, and this is Mochi.
Well, hello, Waffles and Mochi. Are you ready for an amazing adventure?
Our dream is to become chefs.
Let's try a lemon.
Whoa! To the magic card. So Mochi and I are traveling around the world. Nice, Mama! Learning everything we can about food.
Japan! Peru!
Italy! Ciao! Wow, it's like a rainbow in my mouth. We've got to have courage, Mochi, or we'll never really learn how to cook.
Whoa! That's perfect!
Oh, the edge.
That is slimier than a slug in a sauna.
It's like an explosion of colorful flavors.
Spicy.
Yeah, it is.
What strange things?
We've seen stranger things than that.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Than the mushroom.
Waffles! Mochi!
Best luck ever.
I couldn't have done it without my friends Mochi and Waffles.
This, Mochi and Waffles, is your new home.
Waffles and Mochi.
Take my beard off! That's too hot!
Waffles and Mochi.
All right, guys. So there you got your taste of, for the lack of a better word, you got a taste of Waffles and Mochi. I'm sorry about that. But you know what? I'm going to do this again because that's UK, it would not let me do full screen. So I'm going to do it full screen from my own device. And we'll see what happens here.
About all kinds of different foods.
From the people who brought you Chef's Table, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and Ugly Delicious, come two new heroes of food.
Hi, I'm Waffles, and this is Mochi.
Well, hello, Waffles and Mochi. Are you ready for an amazing adventure?
Our dream is to become chefs.
Let's try a lemon.
Whoa! To the magic card. So Mochi and I are traveling around the world. Nice, Mama! Learning everything we can about food. Japan! Peru! Italy! Wow, it's like a rainbow in my mouth. Gotta have courage, Mochi, or we'll never really learn how to cook. Oh, that's perfect! Oh, the egg!
That is slimier than a slug in a sauna.
It's like an explosion of colorful flavors.
Spicy.
Yeah, it is.
What strange things?
We've seen stranger things than that.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Than the mushrooms.
Waffles! Mochi!
Best look ever.
I couldn't have done it without my friends Mochi and Waffles.
This Mochi and Waffles is your new home.
Waffles and Mochi.
Take my beard off! That's too hot!
Waffles and Mochi.
All right, so there you are. There's your new Obama endorsement from Netflix. So first you had Cuties, as I said earlier. Now you have a cooking show. So you can pick it up where available if you're in for that. All right, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I'm going to read a few comments here, and hello to Awesome Alice. I picked that up right away. About the rainbow in my mouth. Did you guys pick that one up? Let's see. Let me scroll here just a second. All right. Yeah. So Awesome Alice says a rainbow in my mouth. Okay. We're going to keep going. And hello to Tyrant's Fame TDOA. Thank you so much for coming in. And let's see, Joseph Francis Burton, thank you so much for coming in. He says, I am honestly not that creeped out with the Fauci Kids book. When I was a kid, there were children's book about Dr. Albert Schweitzer and Dr. Jonas Salk. Sorry for the old guy perspective. Okay, and we have also Angela Reed. Angela Reed says before Trump left office, he gave huge amounts of money for LGBTQ. Okay, we're going to keep going here. And hello, John H. Roberts. He says, what in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch hell is that? I'm actually a fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I am, at least I used to be. I used to be a fan of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I find that, and this is a digression. It's a dietary digression, but I find that many of the cereals are just so loaded with sugar. Kids love things with sugar. And I think some of the most sugary, for the lack of a better word, the most sugary cereals were, amongst my favorite ones. So yeah, what was it? I think even Cinnamon Toast Crunch happened to be more sugary than even Fruit Loops. It was a little bizarre how they came up with the sugar content in some of these cereals, but no less. You guys are too much fun. So Joseph Francis Burton, thank you so much for coming in. He says, I think Rainbow in My Mouth was a song by Bjork. You guys this is turning into a reading rainbow, right? Okay. And Old Head Dude says Bane. Okay. That's for somebody else. That's an interpersonal message. All right. So let's go with Derek C. Williams, who says Black Spring with Autumn. I have an interview I'd like to send you about the forthcoming adverse effects deaths from the jab, and would love to see a video summation of that. Send it my way. Send it over. I really appreciate it. I'll have a look for sure. And who else do we have? Okay. Awesome Alice says, reminds me of the Lucky Charms, but the evil He's the evil leprechaun. He says, oops, a video. Ah. Thanks, Derek C. Williams. You're most generous. I will certainly respond. I will respond. Thank you so much. And yeah, so there you have another show. And I'm not sure how soon that's going to get to the US. I'm not even sure where it's been released. Let's see if I have any commentary on that, any information on that. Because of course it appeared in the New York Post as well. But okay, so it's premiering Tuesday, March 16th, which is already passed. So that means it's already out there, right? At least slightly one day behind, but it's already out there. So has anybody seen this show? Or yeah, maybe I'll look for it. I don't know. I don't have Netflix anymore. I got rid of Netflix. I think I got rid of Netflix about 2 years ago, at least 2 years ago. Yeah, I think I got rid of Netflix about 2 years ago. And because I found that their shows were pretty dark. They were really pushing the envelope on some of those, some of the shows that I think they're the things that we're seeing right now. They were already, I think, previewing where, I think where things could go, where things could potentially go. So I just couldn't, it was hard for me to watch some of those things. And they are addictive because it's like once you kind of get pulled in, it's kind of wicked. It's kind of what can I say? It's kind of it's seductive, it's perverse and it's seductive. Once it starts, it's hard to put the brakes on. It's hard to, yeah, it's hard to. And can you imagine for kids when their minds are taken to, whether they're in exploratory stage or not, there's some things you don't want. It's one thing to me for kids to be in exploratory stage, but then if you keep these things up, then it becomes developmental. You're starting to develop these ideologies, or it becomes, confusion. You just start perverting things to the point of confusion. And then what happens when you get confused? Deception to me can occur. The more confusion you have, the more deception that you can have. So, you guys, yeah, there you go on that. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in on that one. And I think I have something else I wasn't quite sure about. Let me read a couple more of these before it goes. But let me, before I do that, I just find I find it interesting that, we've talked about children being the agents of change, but then we also continue to see Michelle Obama in these roles of, is she the steward? What kind of fairy godmother role does she have with children now? I'm just saying, you've seen her with, what was it, D Wade's daughter. First she was massaging him or her. And what now she's got the entire world of children in her hands. Or I'm just saying, I'm just saying. I'm going to read a couple of comments here. Old Head Dew says, who from the Board of Education is challenging this stuff? I'm going to be honest. That's an excellent question. I would imagine no one's challenging. Here's the thing. If you can't even get them to go, if you can't get parents to show up at the, for what's going on at the Board of Education for the story time that's going on, I think that they've been, just kind of sitting and wait to see what people are going to let go. And I think it's happening in many places. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I was told that maybe there was a library. Some of these kids, some of the library reading the story time that you're hearing about now. Maybe some of the first LGBT story times, I think, were maybe even done in a namesake library of hers. If I'm not mistaken, I will check that and feel free to reprove me. I've seen those images, but now it's coming to mainstream. It's coming to more platforms. They're mainstreaming it right now. So yes, I'm just going to keep going. I mean, this is just, as somebody once said, they're coming for the kids. Or what was the saying? Lock the door, hide the kids. Was that real? Is that real? Right. Austin Alice says, I got rid of Netflix after they made Jesus Gay show. Yeah, I think that'll do it. And Austin Alice says she's a class act groomer. For the lack of a better word. I just put that one out there. Okay. Interview sent host via Gmail. Very persuasive, this man. And Old Head Do says Obama 2.0. Well, see, this is the thing. That's why I keep hearing people say that this is that what's going on in terms of administration wise, that this is actually more of a Obama a third term. And I'm beginning to see, it's almost as if you might see Jill Biden is not doing these shows. And I just what can I say? There's a lot you can't say. All right. So according to Joseph Francis Burton, who says, I find the most shocking and disturbing thing about modern movies / television is the graphic violence perpetrated by children. It started with the Kick-Ass movies, has only gotten worse. Yes. And even, the gamer shows, some of the gamer programs, those are just as bad. I mean, if not worse. So I can see that's a fair point without a doubt, Joseph Francis Burton. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one other story with you guys. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment, but I thought you might want to see this one if you haven't seen it. So that show has only been out. Today is the 24th. So that show has only been out like 8 days right now. So you got Netflix or whatnot, you might, I don't know. I think Netflix has an entire section for kids. Even Sesame Street's not the same. I don't know. Is Reading Rainbow still around? Is Reading Rainbow still around? Derek C. Williams says, Harris is taking calls from world leaders. Yes. Putin challenged the regime commander to a live debate by decline. Imagine my shock. Has that ever happened in the history of this country? I mean, I'm just asking, just asking. But I do have another story, and it seems like the 2A stuff is really starting to. I'm going to pull this one out of the LA Times. I have a little news report on, but I might just pull it from the LA Times. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But yes, this is very, it's very concerning. It's very dark what we see is being presented to kids. And I just don't know how you present these kinds of topics without talking about sexuality. I mean, I think we talked about this once before about some of the bills that were being passed to basically they've reimagined the sex education for kids. At least I've seen it on the West Coast. I'm sure everyone else, but I think that's even a part of the some of those SDG goals, the Sustainability Development Goals. All right, so let's go to this next story here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. But before I do it, actually, I'm going to keep going here because I'm a little bit more laggy than usual today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and if you have a chance to hit that like button, I really appreciate it, or unlike button, however you process this. So we're going to go to a story out of the LA Times. It's involving a Yountville veteran's home cleared after gunman report. So isn't this looking like the PRAS, problem reaction solution? LA Times, here we are. So Yountville veteran's home cleared after reports of woman with shotgun. Yikes. I'm going to give you guys some full screen on this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so what you see before you is showing the Veterans Home of California. Thank you guys so much for being here. All right, so here we have this in the picture here. This is a California Highway Patrol officer guards the main entryway to the Veterans Home of California on Tuesday in Yountville. So I didn't hear anything about this. Didn't hear anything. All right. Several law enforcement agencies responded Tuesday morning to a report of a woman with a shotgun at a veterans facility in Napa County, but no suspect was found. And authorities called off the search after several hours. The Napa County Sheriff's Office sent out an alert at 8:20 a.m. asking people to avoid the Veterans Home of California in Yountville. By 12:30 p.m., the property had been cleared and there was no evidence of a shooter. California Highway Patrol Sergeant Raul Gonzalez said there were no indications that any shots had been fired. A report of a woman with a shotgun near the Holderman Hospital building, which is near the Veterans Home, prompted a response from the CHP, the Napa County Sheriff's Office, and SWAT units, the Napa Valley Register reported. Quote, CHP and multiple allied agencies immediately responded, end quote, and conducted, quote, an extensive search via ground and air in an attempt to locate the possible subject, end quote, the CHP spokeswoman Fran Clatter said in a statement. But Gonzalez said, quote, there was no confirmation that a person with a gun was walking, end quote. No witnesses have come forward and a weapon was not located during the search, CHP said in an update that went out just after 1:30 p.m. Several CHP units will remain on scene out of an abundance of caution, but the Veterans Facility will resume normal operations, officials said. The Yountville facility is the largest veterans home in the U.S., housing some 1,000 veterans from World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, and operating Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, according to the California Department of Veterans Affairs. 3 years ago, a veteran shot and killed 3 employees at a residential unit in Yountville Veterans Home. The shooter, identified by authorities as a 36-year-old Albert Wong of Sacramento, was found dead along with 3 female victims at the facility where he had once lived. So that's coming out of the LA Times. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to read a couple of these. Let's see. So before I do that, so I just find it, we've got a lot of, we had one was HR 5771, some of these extreme gun laws. It's just a snowball. I mean, I'm telling you, there's no way to get into all of these bills. It's 5717. Yeah, 5717. And that's the gun violence bill. And I think that's also known as the Gun Violence Prevention and Community Safety Act of 2020. It's going under that. And what else do we have? Yeah, so that bill, along with there's so many things on the table. I mean, what can I say? So I'm going to read a few comments here. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Real Under. And if you haven't had a chance to hit the like button, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. Oh my gosh, looks like we have a birthday. We have a birthday today. We have a birthday tomorrow. Does anybody else have a birthday? And shout out to Old Head Deuce. I'm back a little bit far here. And Old Head says that Vax wraps in children's books. This is very bad. I didn't think about it. Vax wraps, and they're keeping it going for sure. All right. Let me keep going here. Okay, so Awesome Alice says that they have racism cartoons now. Racism cartoons now. Awesome Alice, do you by chance have the name of any of those? Or is it a specific episode from one of the from like an older from a known like Sesame Street or something, for instance? I wouldn't be surprised, but they're just moving really on the fast track. They're fast tracking everything right about now. And Derek C. Williams is Norwegian journalist ready to die from the jab. Article here. Thank you, Derek C. Williams. I'm gonna have to pull these off here. All right. Austin Malice says the Manchurian Candidate is a 1962 American neo-noir psychological political thriller film about the Cold War and sleeper agents. It was directed and produced by John Frankenheimer. And Austin Malice says that's what Biden reminds me of. That's what Biden reminds me of that. And Austin Malice says hard to keep up when something is happening every day. That's very true. Very true. And Austin Malice says today her mom turned 66. Oh, happy birthday to your mom, Austin Malice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Lots of March birthdays. I know one. I know quite a few. Quite a few. We should get a birthday song. We should probably get a birthday song. I don't know. And sometimes people don't want to do that. Or either, if we had a call-in show, we'd certainly play the music on there. She says Steven Universe. And I'll tell you a secret. I'll tell you guys a secret tomorrow. Tomorrow. All right, guys. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop both of those in for you. I just find it, and see, I don't want to go on to a rant because it's hard to resist. It's hard to resist the amount of people that MO influences. It's really hard because I'm going to tell you the truth. It's almost like, I'm going to say that I'm talking about it in the Black community right now. So, this is not to alienate anybody or, please get your feelings on, put them on the right track, put them back on the hinge. But it's nothing against you. But what I'm saying is in the Black community, it's almost like the holy O or O's are literally, they've almost been there's too much idolization in the Black community. And I'm going to say that with all the grit, with all the clench that I have. There's way too much. And that goes, and we have that influence. Hollywood influences all. But especially from that presidency, it's almost like people cannot. Can you just say no? What's wrong with you disagreeing with somebody that you don't agree with, that you just fundamentally disagree with? You don't have to be a Hoover vacuum cleaner and suck up every single thing that comes out of these people's mouths. What are you doing? I have, it's the darndest thing I've ever seen. Okay. It's the darndest thing that I've ever seen. It's how people become gods because of their skin color. When you know something's not right and you still go along with it. I mean, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the agenda. I can't believe people cannot see what's happening. I just can't, they don't, for one, I've said it before, they don't want to see it. They would rather close their eyes and pretend like all is right with the world just so that they can get along and go along. You got to do that. It's leaking into the workplace, everything. And sometimes even if you don't want to get into a conversation, a political conversation or a provocative conversation, sometimes you can be lured into it just by something that is just so beyond controversy that you just don't want to, that you can like, okay, enough. I can't take any more of this. I can't hear any more of this. But yeah, but everybody is so sensitive. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with this culture, this woke culture at work these days? I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm saying I'm sick of, it's like if the Obamas show up with a can with crap on it and serve it up, you're gonna go along with that too. That, I mean, what would happen if people actually said no? I no, and in my gut, I don't believe, I'm not convinced that all these people agree with everything that comes out of these people's mouths. I'm just not. I'm not. But I think there's such a pressure, and it's worse than any peer pressure. What's going on out here right now in this culture, this society, is worse than any peer pressure you've ever seen, worse than you've ever heard of. It's is strong. But there again, I say some people, they cannot stand up alone. They've got to be in lockstep with somebody. They can't be the odd man out, for the lack of a better for the lack of a better word. And it's worse than that. It's worse. It's so much worse than that. But we've talked about this whole agents of change. Your kids are being used for all kinds of agendas right now. All kinds. And the earlier they bring it, the better. You're being groomed. You're being groomed for something very, very specific. And to me, you're grooming people for destruction. You're grooming people for misery. You're grooming people for confusion. You're grooming people for destruction is what you are. You're grooming people for deception. I'm going to read some comments here. Derek C. Williams says, I disagree. From my view, folks are straight cowards. Yes, they are. They really, they are. And I have a friend that, she says something, I don't want to say it on here, but she'll say things, that are strong. And yeah, people are very cowardly. But, even that has taken some time. It's taken a huge, there's been a lot of propaganda, a lot of indoctrination served up to get us to where we are, not just Black community. I just think it's nationwide. But I think right now, depending on what you say, it could mean your job. It could mean I don't know. I don't even know how kids are responding to what's going on. I mean, I'm not around kids now. No, not right now. I'm not. But I don't know. I don't know what the temperature is in an actual school. What's the playground temperature like right now? What are they talking about? Are they actually talking about this stuff? Is it actually creeping into conversation? Are they actually exploring any of these things? Are they doing more than talking about these things at this point? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm going to read a comment here from Awesome Alice, who's always awesome. Is she celebrating her mom's birthday? Is that correct? Is it today? Awesome Alice says, it's because they teach to just follow, not ask questions, right? Critical thinking, no more. I'm glad my dad taught me to question everything. It is the best way to learn. Investigating. Nancy Drew. And Old Head Dew says, the end game we are getting. Are you saying framed? You can probably thank the AI for messing up the words around here. Derek C. Williams says, heaven forbid you offend someone or lose your social status, quote, social status, end quote, and risk losing followers on these platforms. Yes. And Awesome Alice says, it's the chaos effect. And Derek C. Williams says, being a coward is to be heroic. Proof, simply look at a lot of men online and in your everyday. Well, I think I saw some type of interview, I don't know, where even D. Wade, I think he's doing more offense, more of the defense. He's actually, in one way, he's kind of like sarcastically, thanking people. Oh, thank you for bringing more conversation. Thank you for what you've done, because you brought more conversation about, to the issue at hand. But I'm not going to be this kind of parent for not allowing my child to be who they are. So, it's just, it's thick. But I think that, I don't think it's just conversation that, that he's concerned about at this point, because people are going to keep talking about it. And Yeah, and see there again, all right, that brings me back. It loops me right back into it. You know, Michelle Obama was basically endorsing her endorse that you got an endorsement from her. So it's almost like, so is Black America going to let the Obamas raise their kids now? And YouTube, if you guys are listening out there, I hope you are listening, because I approve this message, and you can take it down if you want. Do what you do. I'm just saying, is that what we're doing? Because a lot of people, you're right. Derek says straight up, cowardly people are not going to say anything, even if they know what's wrong. But to me, those are enablers, is what I call that. If somebody has a substance abuse problem and you're going out and you're picking up the substance for them, you're an enabler. You're a part of the problem and not a part of the solution. And we have a lot of that. What do they say? Silence is violence. And, silence means a lot of other things too. You can spin that. There's an answer in silence as well. There's approval in silence as well. And so, to some people, if you guys want to go on a spectrum, a lot of people, this and that's a spectrum. So now silence means a lot of things. So let me dig into the silence, and I can pull some things out of silence too. Silence is also, fear. It's a fear. It's a response too. I'm going to read Austin Alice's comment here. She says, I know when my son was inner city school, they told him that they can't play with people that look like him and attacked him. He said he didn't understand why they hate him. So yeah, it's affecting the kids. Yeah, it's just really sickening. And it's just, I'm saying at this point, I think some people are so bitter and so hanky and so angry and so jealous of people that they'll do just about anything, even if it's going against their own interest. If they think that if they're satisfying something, if they can justify something in their head and satisfy something in their head that has nothing to do with what's actually going on, they'll rather do that, even if it means destruction. They'll do that rather than to do what's right. So yeah, we're basically, we're in a situation where nothing means nothing. Like, we don't have any values. We're losing values. We don't have any. And the less values you have, the less resistance you have. Let me read Derek's comment. He says, yeah, social media is raising children and influencing people. Prove the online folks, Kevin Samuels, and his freshly disgraced Derek Jackson media owns it all. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll give it, social media without a doubt. But I know that I should know when people are gonna say enough is enough. And I really don't know. Like, somebody asked a question about what school boards are proving that. I see the school board, it probably been worse. It probably been much worse if the school board had anything to do with it. And that's sad to say. That's sad. That's really sad to say, that if the school board has anything to do with it, it's even worse. Yeah, the elected officials are just as, some of them can be just as seedy as some of the stuff on social media. You guys have seen some of these interviews, and for all the interviews and for all the unknown school board meetings and personalities in these spaces. Unfortunately, I think it's been going on for years, and it's only because of this thing right here that we're learning about it. So I really appreciate it. You guys so much for tuning in. So I'm going to try to run a couple more infomercials, and I'll be right back. So hopefully we won't get stuck in the lag. And I'm going to say hi to everybody and sign off on your Wednesday. So thank you guys so much for coming in for this we're almost real under 60, but we'll see. Knock on wood. That's why I won't put it on. Actually, what I'm going to do is I might even put the link out just for a second, because it's nice to hear from you guys. Oh, and on that note, there is a question over on the community tab. you guys are interested, and you can submit those responses, and we'll have a little segment in our show that we'll plug in, that will do, your responses, the viewer talking points or something like that is what we'll do. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to go and give a little shout out here and there. I'll be right back. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and just hang on just one more second. All right, guys, I thank you so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. But I will say this, and then I will go ahead and do some of the final closings on this real under, and we're already not going to make the under 60, so that's fine. But what I want to say is, apparently we had a missing child report, and I don't know. I'm saying this in reference to BLM. Okay, so this happens to be a Black child that was reported missing. And I just don't know what issues do they actually go after that actually reach people on a local kind of level, because I do know that once upon a time, I'm not sure if those chapters exist. I think they had at least 10 local chapters, but I just want to flash this one just for a second here. I just don't see. This is why it's hard to convince people, of what they're doing or what their objectives or goals are. They are actually doing things. They have their own action projects that are up, but they have nothing to do with, of course, with anything that's actually very relative or close to the communities. So here we have, this was Janiyah Bradley, and this was posted at 3 a.m. on March 12th, 2021. This is California. So I'm just saying, out of concern, I'm thinking with everything that's going on, that wouldn't this be a point of interest? Wouldn't something like this be a point of interest that this child is missing? I don't have an update on it right now, but she was actually missing from San Diego. And of course, they give you the information here as to the SD Police Department if you have information. Actually, no, they have it here that she was, I don't know why it came up on the 13th, but it shows that she's been missing since 2/26/2021. So I don't know if they had a lead or something that happened on the 12th, but I'm just wondering, why aren't any of these groups looking into any of the other finite, or why are they not looking into these things? I mean, what kind of group is this? It's hard to support that group anyway, which I don't. But at the same time, when this kind of thing comes up, you hear nothing from any of these groups. You don't hear anything from Black leaders. You don't hear anything. And they're quick to say, "Oh, well, we never even hear about children going missing." I think I remember hearing that. But everybody else gets airtime. If you're out, fighting in the streets of Miami in the name of spring break, you get all kinds of airtime. But nothing like this seems to make any of these Black leaders' agendas. I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. Since everybody's on the color trail, that's my injection. Where are you? Where are you on this one? But there's tons of kids. I mean, that's an entire project in itself. I don't know if you guys remember, was it the milk carton back in the day? When I say back in the day, pick your day. I'm picking mine. Do you guys remember the kids on the backs of milk cartons? Do you guys see that anymore? Do you see that anymore? Or what else did they call it? There used to be like a missing children's hotline. I don't see any of that stuff anymore. But I hear lots of helicopters. I do. Just saying. All right, so let me click on this. Actually, I'm going to put the link out here just for a second. If you guys want to chime in, you can do that. You'll get your 3 to 5 allotment. That's your starting allotment. That's a generous. I think it's kind of generous to start. And yeah, so I'm putting that there while I read some comments. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, I'm looking on their page right now. They've got a lot of agendas. Medicare, is it Medicare for all? Medicare for all. Yeah, they're back at it with Amazon. So I just, who knows? I'm going to read a couple of these comments here. Because I'm just going to say this, when in the education world, you have the right to reporting. The reporting demands are pretty high. So I would figure, I just think that there's so much fraud, so much con, so much scam out there, and nobody, and a lot of people can't see through it. And when I say that, I'm not saying you guys, I'm saying that in the Black community, nobody really speaks out about what they're not seeing. They're not looking for accountability on what's already out there. They're not. It just seems like people just seem to thrive on fraud. The more fraud, the happier people are. I don't know. Just let me know if I'm off. You reprove me. I'm fine with that. And it looks like Derek C. Williams. Hang on just one second. Let's see, I get this one off here. Okay, Derek C. Williams, I think you're here. I think you're coming in. You're coming in. Well, while we wait for you, we'll just say hello to Zero the Infinite. He says greetings to everyone. We're waiting for Derek C. Williams. He's buffering a little bit. Hello, Derek C. Williams.
Okay, yeah. Shout out, respect to the Black Silver Army, cousin, son, white. How you?
Hanging around, Derek C. Williams.
Yeah, well, it's rain. We got rainy conditions in Philadelphia, so the signal best had to come back up. I had to get back up here on the street. Yeah. So you can hear me?
Yes, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that you asked the questions. You were just saying you didn't support Black Lives Matter. Neither do I. And I put in the chat room, I thought it was well known that the least empathetic people towards black people are the black people. Yeah, I mean, is that not well known?
Well, you said it. You said
I mean,
it.
You said you got people. You said you got Southern roots. So you black. Well, I thought that was well known. It seemed like we go harder for every other ethnicity other than myself. At least from what I've seen in my little 53 years.
Well, you know, Derek, I will say this for the lack of a better word. My family is pretty old school. They're pretty old school, and a lot of things that they said, I had a hard time accepting them until I got older. Right? Oh my gosh, it's really as bad. It's worse than I thought. It's worse than they said. You know, I say, you know, even you know, my dad, God rest his soul. You know, I like, my God, Dad, this is worse. This is worse than you said. What are you talking about? Why didn't you tell me? You know, like, why didn't you tell me the truth?
Yeah, man.
He did, but
I mean,
you know, his own way.
So you know, kind of like you in California, and Ice Cube said it back in '89. When a black person gets shot in the hood, nothing is happening in the hood. It's just another black person dead. Wow. It's just as simple as that. And you know, so with all the, I did a video this morning about all the medical experimentation, and black people are actually signing up to this. We are nihilists in that sense. We don't care about ourselves, and we are quick to butcher ourselves, and we are quick to hand ourselves over to the white man and let him do anything he wants. He can have his way with it. And I defy anybody, black or white, to show me historically where that is inaccurate. Anybody. Show me. Show me where black people across the board have shown love, sustained love for themselves. Show me. I dare you, show me. And so that's not being defeated, because a lot of times on my channel, I get emails from people saying I'm a defeatist, the white man that got you, and all this old crazy ass stuff here. Like, how the white man got me? I'm just simply, like, I put stuff out as it is. I always say bet everything, bet Derek Williams, and I also say you judge. Show me what black people have sustained since we've been free. Show me, aside from Black Wall Street, show me where we have shown sustained love for self. Show me, I dare you, anybody. Show me.
Well, I have to say, you know, I can't. I don't have that for you, and but it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating that people that the leaders. Where do you hear from them? I mean, you don't. You know,
no, and I don't blame them.
They co-sign any and everything. And just like, and this is what I want to say this, you know, and I do agree that that of course, you know, the current commander, Biden, he had his role in the crime bill, but so did the Black Caucus. Okay, so did they. So we're gonna leave. Are we not going to talk about them? Are we not going to bring that to the forefront?
Well, you can't. No, you being black, you can't. You can't. You can, I can't. We cannot. One of the last things we are allowed to do is air our dirty laundry in front of the white man. That's the last thing you're supposed to do. So no, you saying it on your channel, you ain't supposed to say that, Black Spray with all.
I know. I'm throwing caution to the wind, but I tell powers that be, do what you do. No, I'm not supposed to say that, but I will say, I'll say these things, but I try not to do a rant, but it's easy to do. It's easy. There's so much to rant about, and then it does. What does that do?
Well, because we ain't got no power to really change nothing for the governmental structure. We don't have armies to defend ourselves. The only thing we got is rap. Only thing we can do is yell out. That's it. But like you said, you literally are throwing caution to the wind. I mean, literally and figuratively. That's all you got. That's all you got. And like I said, I'm just, if somebody can show me different, I'm all in. I mean, I wanted to change, but I just simply say I just say it as is. But again, I've been told on my channel that I'm a defeatist, like the white man got you, you give up too easy. No, I'm just simply saying what it is.
You gotta have that boogeyman. That boogeyman he's gotta be there. But I'm telling you, like, no person lives in my head for free, rent free. Nobody.
Yes, ma'am.
But but that's always what they go back to. They always go back to the same thing, but nothing changes. Nothing changes. But it's very frustrating. I would imagine with everything that's going on at the border, why wouldn't anybody think about this kid that's missing? Like, other than her parents or who reported it. I don't know who reported it, but I'm saying all the time.
Well, they just reopened the case of Kendrick Johnson after 8 years. He was essentially scooped out. All of his internal organs were taken. They found him stuck in a gym mat, rolled up. All of his internal organs were excised. They found him, they opened them back up, and they found this young 18-year-old handsome young man. Where his organs were, they found newspapers. They just opened the case up after 8 years. What you and I matter to the mainstream ain't hitting on nothing. No. But the kids at the border, that's all that's jumping off. This is going to be a trend. The small amount of Asian pushback that we've been seeing, that's going to go to where the dodo bird, but the Black Holocaust continues. Show me. Anybody. Show me where that thing with the Asians ain't going to be. It's just a flash in the pan. Watch that will not be sustained. But the black people will get shot down like dogs. And again, like I said, they scooped this boy out. They did a moratorium on Kendrick Johnson. They took all the heart, kidney, spleen, liver, pancreas, small intestine. They gutted this boy. And they put newspaper in this boy. They just now getting around to reopening the case after 8 years.
That's horrible. Ugh.
Yes, wow. Ma'am. So, like I said, same thing like in New York State, I did a video 2 years ago called Our Vital Organs. And a man got stopped at a traffic stop. They threw him in jail. They found him dead. His organs gone. His name is Everett Powell, I think his name was. So Black Life in America, anybody show me. Show me where society at large cares about Black life, and show me where Black people in American society care about it. Show me. I'll get anybody. Show me.
Wow. Well, I'll go and look. I'll go back and look at that video. I'll go back into your archives and see if I can't find that video.
Well, I'm gonna drop down. I'm gonna drop down because I'm gonna get on the train. I'll put it in the comment section, and you can see it for yourself.
Well, I thank you for coming on, Derek C. Williams.
Yes, ma'am. I'm glad I'm on your team. Fuck out of here. I'm glad I roll with you. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Derek. I really appreciate it. And yes, please come back anytime.
Yes, ma'am. All right, you take care of yourself here.
You too. All right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Derek C. Williams there. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm not sure how things kind of just keep getting swept under the rug and nobody calls it out. But Derek will call it out. Derek will call it out without a doubt. All right, so I'm going to go through here with some comments, and then I'm going to wrap us up. I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in on our Real Under, and yeah, it's just really scary. And who knows what nefarious things are going on, and why people are so tight-lipped about these things. Who knows? And no unicorns and fairy tales here. I don't have those on this show. Hello to Philip J. Turner. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Philip J. Turner has a report. He says, just took his first jab, no issues, 1 hour later. All right. God bless Philip J. Turner. I appreciate you for sharing that. And Philip J. Turner says, got my garden all planted. And Awesome Alice says that BLM reminds me of those lawyers that wait for an accident to happen so they can make money off pain, except they chase the police tread to capitalize on Black pain, and Black death makes me sick. Oops, looks like I have somebody else here. Just 1 second here. Oops. I'm trying to bring you up here. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I have somebody right now. It's Zero to Infinite. Zero to Infinite. Thank you so much for tuning in. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm hanging around. Let me pull down this. I'm double fisting.
She's censoring me. She's censoring me. Speaking
There
too
you
much
go.
truth.
When all else fails, Black Spring will censor you. That's my only recourse. All right, what have you got for us today, Zero to Infinite? Thanks so much and for all your support around here. How are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah. Like when you were talking about like how people slip things on the rug, it had me thinking of a line that was spoken on that show How I Met Your Mother, and it was about like like they were talking about why people talking about like people don't like lies, and the character Barney Stinson said no. He said people love being lied to. They just don't want to find out that they've been lied to.
I didn't know that. I don't know if I watched that. I watched that show, but yeah, I mean, I guess that sounds very more than perceptive there. It's very true at the same time. But I also heard the saying, like people will love you to bits if you tell them lies, but if you tell them the truth, you're the absolute enemy, without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, but to be perfectly honest, I think if everybody told like everybody 100% the truth all the time, I don't think anybody would like each other. because like it's like, well, you can soften it, but I mean it would technically be like kind of lying though. So but
that's true. I mean, that's true too.
Yeah.
But
yes, I think we had like 90-95% truth. I think that would be a good, that'd be a good meeting for everybody.
Well, it's possible. I mean, I think there was a saying that I learned, and I don't know who was it from, but I remember somebody saying, if your parents love you, they'll tell you the truth. And to me, I went with that. And somehow I think I ended up loving the parent that told the most truth, that told more truth than the other one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always find like kind of interesting, like when like you're kids, like parents will tell you like, oh yeah, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, they'll tell you all these people are real. Like if they just told you like, hey, I'm the one doing it. They really ain't. They don't exist. Instead of letting you believe that they just existed, I think it would just be better. I just don't get why they say it. And then the parents justification, well, we want them to have a childhood. I'm like, they still have a childhood. Cause like what's kids find out ain't real, you know, they gonna be upset. They gonna kind of resent you.
Well, it's funny you say that. That's also very true. Because
Yeah.
you know the fairy tale, you know, the unicorns and the rainbows, it's over. You know, or
Yeah.
some people say, let me live in my lie. Let me, you know, leave me in my lie. You know, leave me alone. I like what I'm doing. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you seen it, just recently, you know, like, you know, put Trump in there 4 years. It shows you like how these politicians really are, and people did not like it. Like, you know, it kind of like Cypher and Matrix. Like, I don't want to see the truth anymore. Just put me back to sleep. I'll do anything. You know, yeah, put Joe Biden there. I mean, we don't like him, but you know, let's put him in there. We don't like Trump. We take him in there. Like matter of fact, I think one of my coworkers today, like with early night, because I worked the night shift, and you know, like some guy was just ranting on about like marijuana like being legal, whatever, but he didn't really know what he was talking about. But then like Biden, he got thrown up, and I was saying like, you know, I was like, yeah, you know, I was like, you talking about Joe Biden that like was for segregation like multiple times, like you talking about that Joe Biden, and then to my world, and like one guy kid, you know, he said, I would vote for safe over Trump. I'm like, and I'm thinking you can't. I'm thinking, well, you can't. I told him he's actually worse than Trump, and he's like, so you rather have Trump now? I said, I mean, if it was up to them two, yeah. And of course, that program kicks in. You're a Trumper. You support Trump. I said, no, I don't. Don't like neither one of them. He said, no, but you said it was better, so it made you support him. I was like, no, it doesn't. But you know, like, you know, you can't say anything about like certain people, you know, especially like politics. I mean, it's pretty much like religion anyway. But you know, you talk about one candidate and that they like, and you know, and automatically that program kicked in. Like if you say anything positive about the other one, it's like, oh, you must be on their side.
but that's to me, that's the amazing part about, to me, where people's minds are. They are very tunnel vision. You know, they'd rather keep up anything that you say.
Yeah.
It has to be you either anything that you say that wasn't pro him, that wasn't anti him, was pro him. Anything that
Yeah.
you say. Even if you say, even if you say, hey, you're about to get hit, if they say, okay, get hit by this car right now, or support, or be a supporter, or you know, they're going to go with get hit by the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anything you said that was, and that didn't make any sense. But
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
you said, you know, that was, you could be saving their life. That's the means that the end I was trying to get to. It could be a life-saving measure, but they're going to go with the anti, which means you got hit by a car. You were so distracted, you got hit by a car.
Yeah. That's exactly how it is. Like I remember a few months ago, like at my old job, I had like a conversation with my coworkers, and you know, he was so mad at Trump because he thought he was doing like the whole riot and everything like that, which ain't no actual proof. But you know, I explained to him. I think it took like 10 minutes to break it down and like explain to him logically what it was, and he got it. And then like 5 minutes later, that program just kicked back in. He got it. He was on my side.
It's strong.
He was on my side. He was like, okay, I got you. Okay, that makes sense. So I was like, oh, he did it time. I said, that program just got you.
It's sad. You're right. You said the right thing. The program, because I remember it's like you'll get people they'll get so close to telling the truth, or so close to realizing, oh, what I'm saying actually makes absolutely no sense. But as soon as they realize how close they are, the guard is up. They would rather go back into danger than to be like, hey, free yourself from some of these lies. You can be free right now if you just take one more step and you're there. And they'll start to retreat. You watch them do it.
Yeah,
it's psychological. It's psychological.
Yeah, I've seen it too many times, Cal, and I remember like during that conversation with my one of my coworkers yesterday, like when I was bringing up certain points, like of course I brought up what Joe Biden said, like you ain't black if you don't vote for me, and then that thing one coworker said, well, he said, well, what do you think about him? He said, well, do you support Obama? I said I did. I helped this campaign. Oh wait, I mean, even though later on I think like probably like past 4 years of like supporting him, I found out that like both Democrats and Republicans were working on the same side, which made me be totally done with politics at that point. So I really believe. I was like, yeah, he gonna do what he said, even though he didn't do exactly how he's supposed to be doing it. Like, okay, well, we got it. He had to make some compromise. I was making skins for him, but we got it. We got it. We did it.
Well, hey, easy with that one, because pretty soon you're gonna see a hashtag. I see some people saying we did it, and they're comparing that to what's going on at the border with the other demands that have been made. So like easy on the easy on that. We did it, really. We did all that. And that too. Yeah, that's yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a win. That was
it definitely wasn't. I mean, by the time I thought it was a win.
I'm just speaking very generally there, but I'm saying it's just staggering to see the way people's minds are just. Oh my God, these people are living in your mind rent free right now. I can't deal with you. but
even back then, like even when I was supporting him, like I always thought it was kind of odd, like how like Obama seemed to come out of nowhere with the presidency.
It's in nowhere.
Yeah, I mean that's what it seemed like. It seemed like he was just put there. Like I was, it was just something about it just like was off to me. But I was like supporting nonetheless, but it just fell off anyway. Even back then when I was supporting him, so I was like, yeah. I said, I mean, how I'm explaining it gonna sound weird, but it to me it kind of makes sense. It seems like he was like kind of planning everybody's memories. I know that sounds crazy as hell.
Yeah, did you say implanted?
I mean, like somehow, like he was put into our memories or something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
now you're going into some loaded.
Yeah, that's what I say. It sounds crazy. That's what it appeared like to me, because I just that's the only way I really could explain it.
Well, I really appreciate you for coming on, and we'll have it's nice to have you on, and I appreciate you not sweeping things under the rug.
Yeah. To Powers B, that was what I was saying. That was just a science fiction novel I was writing.
So drop it in the link in the chat again. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Put it in the link for us for sure.
Oh no! I was just saying that so they wouldn't.
Oh yeah! Oh, you mean for the AI? Yeah. I've already said my piece on that. I've already.
That was
do what you do. Date me, whatever you do. I'll just do something else. I've become really rebellious.
Yeah.
A little rebellion in me. Yeah, it's exactly what I get. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rebellious too. I was just trying not to get put on the list. That's all.
But the
But
thing
I mean,
about it is, they know. The thing is, they know who you are.
yeah,
They
yeah, I
already
know. Yeah, I know.
yeah, that's just, yeah. But I appreciate it. Yeah. So come on anytime, and yeah, that was fun. You're getting the comment of the day. Even on Twitch, you're racking up over there.
Oh well. All right.
All right, guys. So we've had Zero to Infinite here, and you can find him in the chat.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
All right.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, guys. We have Old School Wolf in the house. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have you around. And we had Derek C. Williams on earlier. So yeah, but I brought those things up because it's just nonstop. I don't want to say nonstop foolishness, nonstop nonstop crazy makers, and people are just fall right for it. And it's just, I said I don't want to go on to a rant because that's easy to do. You can easily go on to that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that on this stream. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. I'm just gonna say a salute to everyone for one last time, and we get you going on your is it Thursday? It's not Thursday, it's Wednesday. I can't keep up with my days because I'm doing too many dates myself. So all right, so Joseph Francis Burton, thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for reminding us of the name of the song, the Bjork song, Rainbow in My Mouth. Oh wow, the rainbow means too many things right now. Old Head Deuce, thank you so much for coming in. And Derek C. Williams, thanks so much for coming in and for coming on and for supporting the channel. And Awesome Alice. I have Awesome Alice here. Tyrant's Bane TDOA, thank you so much for coming on. And who else do we have? Where's somebody that was on? Joseph Francis Burton. Yeah, the StreamYard should work on most. I guess it works on most devices. I've worked it on my phone. I've worked it on my. I don't know if I've worked it on my iPad, but I think it works on most devices. So I don't know. Let us know. You can pick up the link, of course, anytime you want. Yeah, if you think about it, do it. And you don't even have to show your face. I'm always showing my face on here, but you can use your avatar if you want. Thank you. Thanks so much. Awesome Alice, thank you so much for coming in and keeping things interesting as always and supporting us. And Zero to Infinite, thanks so much for coming on. I don't know. It seems like I can do a whole show on scams and deceptions or something. And Philip J. Turner, it's nice to see you. It's been a while. And Touchdown Sean was on earlier, or maybe you're still around. I don't know. But thanks so much for coming in. Because I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here myself. Boan Stevanovic, thanks so much for coming in. I hope you guys had a chance to hit the like button today, just for the channelytics around here. And oh my gosh, Old Head Deuce. We want to hug your brain. It's getting my brain's getting a year older here in less than 24 hours. So easy. Easy on the hugs, on the brain hugs. I appreciate it. Okay, guys. And Zero to Infinite is most generous. So yeah, I got to get out of here and get it together. Awesome Alice says, make a reflection video of 2020 and 2021 of the wokeness. Oh my gosh, that's a huge undertaking, Awesome Alice. You might be more amused. You might be more amused if I did something else, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what I have time for. because I've got some things that I need to get done. A lot of things to get done in short time. But I appreciate you guys coming in today. I almost said coming in on I almost said on this IT band Wednesday, and it's not. It's just real under. So no. Philip says happy birthday. Thanks so much. It's not today. It's not today, but it's soon. So appreciate it. I know I probably won't see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I will. I don't know. But yeah, I'm around. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. If I missed you, and Old Head Deuce, thank you so much for coming in. And Old School Wolf Media, thank you so much for coming in as always. It's nice to see you. And I will see you guys later on another live stream, in the comments section, on a video. Worst case, I don't know. I'm not one of these people that does lifestyle videos, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do a cupping video or something. I don't know. That's crazy. But I will see you guys later, and have a great Wednesday.